So let's create the rest of the fields for this database. So let me copy this. And every field is going to need a new instruction. So let me add, we're going to require 6 different fields. So the second one is going to be the owner name. It's going to be also unique false. Then we have the phone number. So let me add phone, the date. And we're going to map these fields that we have here in the form. So you can see we have pet name, owner name, phone number, date, hour, and symptoms. So let me add the rest. It's going to be hour. And finally, let me add symptoms, something like this. And if you save this, remember this is going to run only once. So we need to remove the database. So delete database and reload. And this is going to run again. So let me open this. And now you can see we have 6 different fields. So always remember, if you make changes into this method, you have to remove the database, and it's going to run this function again. So we're going to create a new function that is called add appointment. So let me add a function, add appointment. And since this is going to be a function that is going to run when the user clicks here on add appointment, so this is going to pass an event. So let me add prevent default. Prevent default. So this is going to prevent the browser from reloading. And this function is going to run when the user submits the form. So you can see we have the form right here. So let me copy form right here. Form.add event listener, and we're going to add submit, and we're going to add appointment. So this function is going to run when the user submits the form. So from here we need to create a new object. Create a new object with the form info. And it's going to be like this. So let me add a let new appointment. This is going to be an object literal. And from here we're going to map the fields that we have in the database. And we're going to map also, we're going to select these fields. So let me copy all the fields from here. We're going to select this, copy this, and paste this here on the bottom. And we're going to start with the first one. So it's going to be pet name. So let me add pet name right here as the key. And then we're going to add the value. The value is going to be from the pet name. But in order to access the data that is inside the input field, we're going to add dot value. Dot value like this. If you have not value, you can see the auto completion adds not value. It's going to be dot value. So make sure that you have this like this. You need to map the object keys with the keys in your database. So let me select the second one. Is going to be owner name. And it's going to be this one, owner name. Dot value again. So we can access the value. And we have the phone. Phone is going to be a phone.value. So it's the same, the key and the value. Then we have the date. So date is going to be also the same. So date dot value. Then we have the hour dot value. And finally we have the symptoms. So let me copy this. It's going to be dot value. So this is going to create a new object that is going to be added into the database. So let me remove this. And a nice way to test this is by adding a console.log. I recommend that you add console.log because with this you can test your code and see if this is working before you start or before you continue adding more code. So this is going to be a nice way. So let me save this, reload, open the console, and let me fill the form. It's going to be like the pet name. Let me add my name right here. Any number is going to be fine. By the way, this date field only works on Chrome because I'm using the date field that is added in the browser. So if you're using Firefox, it's going to display an input field. So let me add something like this, the hour. Also, the hour doesn't work in Firefox, so make sure that you open this in Chrome. Or you add an hour like this one. The dog doesn't want to eat. And click here on add appointment. So you can see we have symptoms is not defined, and this is happening because, yeah, we have an error. We have a typo right here. So it's going to be with N or with M. think it should be with M. So let me replace these symptoms. And so right here, so everything is fine. So let me test this again. By the way, since I make a change right here, it's a good idea to remove the database and create a new one. So let me add the fields again. Juan, and I'm gonna add the number. And let me add the date, the time. Let me add something like hello and click here on add appointment. You can see we have this on line 61, so it should be right here. Yeah, the type is right here. So we don't need to remove the database again because this was an error in the code in the object. So again, let me fill this. Let me add any date, any time is going to be fine. Hello, and add appointment. So now you can see this creates the new object, and these fields, this key needs to match these ones because this is going to be mapped and it's going to insert the values. So you can see everything is working fine. So let me comment this. Everything is working fine. And in the next video, we're going to see how we can insert this record into the database.